Good morning, Mr. Witness. Welcome back. Mr. Witness, for continuation of your testimony before this Commission of Inquiry into Local Government Councils and related matters, I want to remind you that you are still under oath before I hand you over to Madam Chair for us to proceed.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Over to you.
Good morning, Mr. Camara.
Good morning, ma.
You are welcome.
Thank you.
Council, we may proceed.
Yes, Mr. Camara, we want you to proceed with your evidence from where you stopped on Thursday.
Yes.
Do you recall?
Yes, but if you do a recap, that will be helpful. And I have the handing over notes that I already handed over. It was in my documents. I need to forward it back to you.
Very well, maybe please. We apply to tender the handover file from Mohammed Cham.
We admitted the handing over notes. The file was with him. You gave him back the file to check for something when you were asking him questions.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Honorable Chairperson, you're right. It's marked as LGC B.C.C. last MC 1604. Mr. Camara, you were discussing the administrative structure and the policies on the ground at B.C.C. that there were people who would come through the back door.
Yes.
Do you recall?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Yes.
Yeah, basically, I photocopied the dump site first contract for the
Yes.
for the gentleman.
What's the name again? That is the individual that was later to the mayoress.
Exactly. I got the document.
Do you have it?
Yes, I have it, but I think it will take time for me to. Because I printed it from my phone, so I wanted to give you the details of the gentleman. Then during break time, I'll
Okay.
get you the photo.
Then we can suspend the issue of that issue until after break or when you're back. Then you can find the necessary document and we proceed from there.
Thank you, Council.
Yes. But so many appointments based on not on qualifications or through the normal procedure that is in relation to the local government service commission for the grades that are required. But then you have to be related to or have a connection with those that are making decision of there's a CEO or the mayor. Is that correct?
That's true.
Do you have examples of this?
Yes. Looking at councils, or I will say For me, I see this commission as a national call to duty.
Yes.
And then again, all that has been said here, the recommendations that will come from here, will for Gambians, home and abroad, and generations to be born. And I think this is a perfect opportunity to help councils get out of where they are. And then if you look at it, before taking Banjul City Council as a case study, which I will take you through from A to Z, Banjul City Council as a case study. If you look at the councils, they are very low. All councils generally are very low in human capital, in the sense that if you take, for instance, the rolling out of IFMIS to all councils, so that all our reporting, financial reporting frameworks will be aligned with one standardized framework that all central government is using, and all agents that are affiliated with central government. But it's coming to 2.5 years since this IFMIS have been rolled out. But councils are still not even 15% compliant.
But we had so many witnesses, especially finance directors and those who work in the finance department. Maybe not criticize the IFMIS, but kind of want to state that there are really there are so many things that you can't do with the IFMIS. And so it was not fully rolled out. At some point it was difficult for them to really implement the IFMIS at its fullest. Is that the experience you've had?
No, that's not my take on IFMIS. My take on IFMIS is IFMIS have been in the Gambia for 20 years.
20 years.
For 20 years, and institutions, central government institutions, more than 50 institutions have been reporting on IFMIS. Why not councils? And we are the newest baby to come on board, and we are not compliant. That is telling you that capacity-wise, councils are struggling. Councils are struggling because the people that are supposed to take care of this IFMIS are not up to the task. And again, one thing that we can complain, that I'll concur with all presenters, that we have a problem of internet connectivity.
Yes.
And we've had, as Director of Finance and CEOs, we have had one forum with Moisi in order to carve a bandwidth that is acceptable and affordable for all councils so that we can get on IFMIS.
Yes.
But the other excuses that people are giving is not. If 50 institutions are saying we're doing it, councils cannot opt out. It's just that we don't have the personnel to do the needful. This is the reality. And again, I was in Banjul, and I went to Berkama. It's the same crybaby story.
How easy is it to use the IFMIS?
IFMIS is a complete package with the experts, TOTs in town. The Accountant General's Department, they have more than 10 TOTs that can take you through your paces to be compliant.
Is TOT trainer of trainees?
So, yes, there are many that are there. And again, what councils are opting to do with them is trying to take Accountant General staff to come and be doing their IFMIS job for them. Again, you go to each finance department in each of these councils, you have over 10 staff, 15 staff, but what's the background? Like Jatupen, for instance, a clarion case of example. ICM diploma, didn't come through the right door. She is related to the mayor. When mayor got the position, she was brought in as a contract staff and later made a staff. Again, there is some level that she can handle. But beyond certain level, she will struggle because the capacity is not there. And then I have told them in my case that let's get capacity. Many Gambians are at home, part qualified, ACCA, AAT qualified. And even if the job is up there in the market, people will vie for it. And we come and do the needful. But you cannot say that they are my family, they are my friends, they are my campaign league. They have
in council.
Can I have water?
How many people are trained? When it comes to B.C.C, for instance, who are the targets for the T.
Yes,
OT.
yes. When IFMIS came to town to the councils, from the CEO, Director of Finance, and at least 3 or 4 people from each finance department, we are all trained. And what I did when I was in Banjul, I trained everybody in the finance department. I said, you all go, let's get it. Let us all be trained so that the job can...
So when you came back, you trained the entire finance department?
Yes, we even didn't leave it to them alone. We wrote to the Accountant General's department, and they've been very helpful, they've been very supportive. They say, Camara, bring your people. And even what I do is every year I will do a refund board. But again...
Do you have those letters?
Yeah, I do.
Will you be able to produce them?
I'll be able to, when I dig into my archives, I'll be able to, yes.
Please proceed.
Yeah, so the situation with councils is...
Be noting what you are requested to bring, because you might forget.
Yeah, yeah.
Please take
Yes.
your pen. When you are requested to look for any document, you note it down.
Good point, thank you. I'm done.
Yes.
Yes. So if you look at councils, I am in my 4th year in councils, and then but the problems of councils, because we meet, all data finance do meet through Galga, we have seminars and all that, and again I've been interacting, and at least out of the 8 local government administrative areas, I've been into 2. Capacity is a challenge for councils. And we are not admitting it, and we are not trying to do anything to correct the imbalances. And if you look at it, since Gambia gained independence, all institutions in the Gambia have gotten on their toe and marched on. Because any institution today, even National Arts and Culture, when you go there are internally master's degree holders, chartered accountants, bachelor holders who have been trained by the institution, but not councils. Or you go to B.C.C. today, with all the staff, we have about 500 staff.
I don't agree with you, but you can proceed on that. I think we struggle. So many institutions are also struggling. Capacity is one, human capacity is one, but also the required attitude towards work. That's the issue. We have seen CEOs, finance directors, mayors or mayoresses or chairmen, as the case may be, who would really disregard the relevant laws or regulations that are to bind the institution.
That's true.
So,
I
so we are addressing the local government area council. So
yes.
that's why we are strictly
and,
limited to that.
Yes, and council, if you look at it, during the time that I've sat on that seat as Director of Finance, you look at the laws that govern the Local Government Act, you look at the Financial and Accounting Manual of Local Government Authorities 2009, you looked at the Rent Tribunals Act, you look at the Finance and Audit Act, you look at the Staff Rules Act.
Yes.
They all outdated. And in that...
What do you mean outdated?
Outdated in the sense that there are gaps. Because now if you look at council, let me take an example of the Local Government Act.
Yes.
All these in-service CEOs mean CEOs who came as timekeepers, promoted to revenue collectors, and on and on and on.
Yes.
They don't know their bits as per the act. And when you have a savvy and a clever mayor or a clever chairman, like my chairman, for instance.
Your mayor?
No, my chairman.
Which of the chairman?
Yankuba Dabo.
Okay.
You look at it. He will bring the act and tell you, I am doing this because of this. And CEO will say that for 20 years I've been doing this. And you as CEO, Sidi Toure, I'll name him, cannot convince you that what he has been doing for 20 years until he got to be a CEO is what was right. So you have new coming chairmen and mayors who will go to the act. And again, we'll tell you whatever you were doing was illegal or was traditional.
Was your mayoress not doing the same as the as your current chairman?
No way. It's two oceans apart. Because what my current chairman does, an overdraft, if you seek an overdraft, before the overdraft, he'll get a council solution. The council solution will back why you want to go for an overdraft. The mayor will go to the bank herself. The director of finance will just sit and they'll tell come and sign an overdraft. I say, my friend, what is happening?
You are saying in Banjul City Council, the mayor
Yes.
will go to the bank by herself.
Yes.
And then call you and the CEO to sign documents.
Yes. After negotiating the overdraft.
Do you have evidence of this?
No. I have a tape because the bank manager, two of them, called me and said, "Come and sign." I said, "I'm not signing."
You have recorded that?
Yes, I've recorded them. And they said the mayors came last evening and negotiated the facility for Banjul City Council. I said, that's not how the civilized world operates.
Which bank?
Basic Bank.
Which individual in Basic Bank called you?
The other one, the name, I don't know the surname, but it's Malik. Malik.
What is his position in Basic Bank?
I think he's a manager.
The manager?
At the bank, yes.
What kind of manager?
Risk
Is it
or
general manager?
No. Line managers.
Line managers.
Yes. And again, I have my the other guy, Demba Damfa. He's our banking liaison.
Yes.
For Banjul City Council. So these are two scenarios. In Banjul,
will you be able to share your recordings as well?
Yes, I can.
Just write it down.
I can play it if you want.
No, that's not how it works. We have to list with we have to list with the technicians.
Yeah, I'll share with you the
to
recording.
see how it can be played if there's a need to play. Yes.
So that's number one. Number two, looking at the CEOs.
Back to the IFMIS.
Yes.
Mr. Camara. So you were using the IFMIS in B.C.C?
Yes, we were.
It was very effective?
We had at first connectivity.
Internet problem?
Yes, because when it came, what I did, because I struggled throughout for staff.
Yes.
So Ibu Drama was there, and I told you the story of Ibu. But when IFMIS came...
which year was this?
This was in 2021. 2021. I have to write to management that I have officially nominated Jatu Pen to be our IFMIS focal person.
Okay.
Yeah, and then along the line...
mean for Jatu Pen to be the focal person?
Yes, because there was nobody.
There was no?
It was only Jatu Pen, ICM that I could work with.
What does it mean to be the IFMIS focal person?
IFMIS focal person,
yes,
was to give the seriousness, me as a director of finance, that I attach.
No, what would be the role of the focal person?
That's what I'm saying. I think it was the focal person of IFMIS is to handle all IFMIS related programs, procedures, coordination, networking, inputting, generation of IFMIS data for Banjul City Council.
Is Jatu an accounts clerk?
Acting senior accounts assistant.
Okay.
Acting SAO.
All right. So please proceed with that. From that.
So that just tell you the importance that we attach to IFMIS, and for me, that's the way forward. And then again, even before I left, even the revenue, I said we have to digitalize everything.
So even to raise vouchers, it have been done through IFMIS?
Yes.
Was that done?
Yeah, it was done, but we have a backlog.
Why would you have a backlog? Why would IFMIS not be effective enough not to create a backlog?
We have backlogs because sometimes, as I told you, the bandwidth net connectivity, and Jatu will come to me to say, Director, I'm having problems going into the system, and sometimes we'll do some spot whatever in order to generate. And again, looking at the transactions and the rhythm of working in the finance and how payments are being done, it has trailed us back. So that's why we have a lot of backlogs to input.
So when you have internet problems, then you resort to manual accounting systems?
Yeah, we resort to the old system that we used to have, and again, it's acceptable international.
That is the manual accounting.
Yeah, but it's acceptable international when you do ICT. That
I'm not saying it is not acceptable. I'm attacking. I just want to know the structure and what you will do in the event the electronic system does not work, because payments have to be effective.
Yeah, you're right. That's
we are not saying that in the absence of the electronic system, then everything should stop. No, we are saying that you are now trying to explain that there were internet problems in the beginning.
Yeah.
For how long did this persist?
Yeah. The internet issue is because when we met Moishi, the issue after that meeting still, the issue stopped where it stopped. They said we have to pay what we were paying. So they never get back to us to say that we've carved a niche, a bandwidth for all councils, affordability and accessibility and robustness and all that.
What do you mean affordability? Affordability,
yeah,
in what
because
sense?
it's expensive. I think the bandwidth, what they are charging a month, I think is, if I am right, it's about 80,000 a month.
Which service provider is that?
Which side of?
Which service provider?
Gamtel.
Gamtel.
Yeah, Jipong. The Jipong, and then because we were on the main bandwidth, after they said Jipong is more effective, so we jumped into Jipong, but the problem still remain. But I think with the two line ministers working together, it's possible to.
So will the system be down for the entire day, for a week, for some days, or a month?
Yeah,
how does it work?
Yeah, as I said, you see, the excuses, for me, I'm not going for the excuses. But again, it's possible, it's workable. But the men that are supposed to do it.
You had already said it's workable.
Yes,
you already told us it's a very effective system. And we are very grateful for that, because some of your colleagues sat where you were sitting, and then they tried to paint a different picture.
Again,
and so you were saying no to that, because the system is workable, it was effective, but then your only experience is probably in the beginning there were internet connectivity issues, correct?
Yes.
I want to know now, how long did that persist, the issue of internet?
It still persists to this day.
So would it be that sometime in the day that there would not be a strong internet connection, so you will resort to manual financial policies or methods? So therefore, if you raise a voucher, for instance, manually, and the internet is now restored, is it not the procedure to go back and then update the IFMIS?
Yeah, fair enough. That's what is supposed to happen. But again, if people are not willing to work, they don't have that work culture in them. Again, if the system is on, you as a director of finance, you're going to be going up and down to say, is the system on, is the system down? If somebody is giving a TOR, that this is my job, come what may, even like the banks, after closure, you stay to clear your desk and do the needful.
But you have a staff. Who do you blame on?
You see the governance instruments in councils are dead. Virtually all councils, especially Banjul City Council, there is no administration department.
Why? You have a CEO.
The CEO comes to work at 1 o'clock, 1 p.m.
Mustafa Bachili?
Yes. Comes to work at 1 p.m., goes home before 3. Sometimes we'll chase him around town to get things signed. And again, you'll find through all the data finance that passes through, that data finance signing, he's not signing because he's not there. And again, the staff are there. I jet in at 8 o'clock. I jet out at 9 p.m. Birkama can arrest that, Banjul can arrest that. Just to say that I am not a normal person. I am a director. To he who much is giving, much is expected. Banjul City Council, no. The CEO comes to work at 1 p.m., goes home before 3.
But maybe because he doesn't have a job to do. You had said in your statements here that the administrative structure is such that everything is controlled by the mayors.
Yes, that's number one. But number two, you have the acting admin director. Came in as a youth, as a timekeeper. Never confirmed. Up to this day, he's saying that he's an acting director of admin. But where is the confirmation? Again, he comes and sleeps in the CEO's sofa. Even if you want to have one-to-one with the CEO, it can't work. For me, I'll tell him, Yusufa, can you please excuse me? I want to speak to my CEO. You are medically unfit. You know what you are supposed to do. And again, They go to University of the Gambia, come with their bachelors. They cannot write memos. They cannot write letters.
But at least they have a degree.
Yeah, in your name. Degree,
At least they have a degree.
degree
For
for,
the case.
degree for decoration. But when it comes, when the chips are down for us to do the digging, you can't dig.
No, but the issue, Mr. Camara,
Yes.
is that you've raised an important point. That as far as you're concerned, most or some of the homegrown, those who will rise through the ranks from, let's say, a cleaner, there's nothing wrong with that, or to be a CEO. But you are saying, from what I understand, that seems to be the culture. That instead of trying to get the best out of a proper recruitment structure, there is no recruitment structure in council. That's
true. And again, if you look at it by extension, somebody as an acting admin manager who should be the scout master of the campus to make sure all rules are observed, lights out, coming on time, going on time, reports and all that. He does not even know. He doesn't even know his TOR. All that he does is to be used as a weapon against staff that they think does not belong to their thinking or linkages or political inclination. That's all they do. All the admin director does is to follow people.
So what is the relationship between the administrative branch and the political branch? The CEO staff, as a senior management, and the mayors and councils. What is the working relationship?
The working relationship is one of gang-ho, is one of coercion, is one of psychological torture, is one of fight and bullying and all that. It's not healthy.
Why do you say that?
Yeah, it's what is happening in B.C.C. Because I went there after a few months. Every day I have to drink tablets day and night to get my headache. Once I get into the campus, my headache goes up because you'll call a meeting, no minutes, and from 12 midday to 4 p.m. is you said, she said, they said, this, that.
Do you have senior staff meetings?
Yeah, we do.
How often?
When I was there, we meet at least once every fortnight.
Once every fortnight?
Yes.
Where do you meet?
Location CEO, location both mayor's office, but office of the CEO is the designated place that.
And who would be present in the staff senior management meeting?
Yeah, senior management meeting. All managers, all directors should all directors should be present, and all managers should be present. But that's not the case with Banjul City Council.
Why?
Yeah, because as I earlier alluded, there are people that they will never call them to senior management meeting and their managers, the likes of Sandigi Njai. And then again we went to a point. I told them when I joined them that we have to, because it's one of the things that I have gleaned from the 3 external audit reports that I have, that management meetings are not taking place. So I tried my best to say to my CEO that we need to hold these meetings and document them well.
You mean there were periods that you were not having senior management meetings?
Yeah, before I came, it's in the audit reports.
Okay.
I can share with you that B.C.C do not hold senior management meetings. And even if they are held, they were not documented. But again, going into also documenting minutes, you have people that are very good. Managers.
Very good.
Yeah, people that are very good in script, like Sandy Ginjai. But what we opt to do, because they said Sandigi is not supporting their agenda.
Agenda?
The mayor's agenda. So you have to go out and hire a minutes taker. With all the staff that you have, there is nobody that the CEO can identify and tell you, let me do a unit transfer or a departmental transfer or employ. But what you will do is to hire a minute taker.
You mean there was a period you guys, B.C.C hired a minute taker?
Yes.
A scribe?
Yes. When there are people in-house that could do it.
When was this?
Throughout 2021, 2022, 2023, until I left them there. I don't know still whether she is there.
Who was hired?
Adama Njai or Adama, something Adama. It's a lady.
Okay. And how was the person hired?
How?
How was the person hired?
The CEO should be better to explain how she was hired.
You don't know?
No.
You have no idea?
Yes.
And the person's job is just to take minutes of meetings.
Take minutes and other duties that the CEO should maybe, I don't know. Anyway, I saw her come.
No, please speak to the microphone, please.
Okay. I saw her come and taking our minutes, and she was not a staff.
Okay. In your statement on the heading B.C.C. EU Ostend Project Steering Committee loan, it should be, the pages don't have numbers, one. The 6th page. You were part of the steering committee of the B.C.C. Ostend project, correct?
As I said with my confirmation, yes, no, no, yes.
Okay.
When I can I
Yes,
elaborate?
of course.
Yeah, when I joined the council in November 2020,
Right.
I found the project there, and I went to the CEO. I said, CEO, all projects must have a steering committee.
Yes.
You cannot roll out a beautiful project, a pioneering project like this one, with the promise that it could be extended or another project might come after this one. You need to have a steering committee. And again, when he did his consultations, he agreed. But for me, I must mention here that the time that I've been with them, 3 years with my CEO, he is not independent. He cannot take decisions. He has not done the job judiciously and honestly to the portfolio that was given to him. Even if you ask for a toilet key, CEO must get approval from the mayor.
Must get back to?
Must get approval from the mayor. So that has belighted.
So the mayor takes all decisions?
Yeah, that portfolio. The portfolio of CEO, for me, she's the mayor, she's the CEO, she's procurement. She wanted
he
to come.
He is the mayor's CEO?
She is the mayor. She is also the CEO. She is also the procurement manager. She also wants to be director of finance. I said no. And once we go
How can the mayor be the director of finance?
Yeah, because you have to call the shots. If I want a staff, you want to bring, as director of finance, if I request for a staff, you want to bring your relative. I said no. The job that I want must be put on the papers because we want a qualified person to come and you ask for it, the staff does not come. Your relative does not come, the staff does not come. That's number one. Number two, as director of finance, looking at the Finance and Accounting Manual of Local Government Authorities,
yes,
powers of the director of finance, she will strip it off the director of finance and give it to the advisor and the CEO.
Example?
Example is all revenue earning books of council.
Right.
Section 204.
Yes.
Of the Finance and Accounting Manual.
Right.
And its attached subsections said
So
all.
You memorize that?
Yes.
Section 204.
Yes, Section 204. And its attendant subsections.
You are right.
A to V said give powers to director of finance.
Yes.
But no, because she will strip it off and give it to people that she wants. I said no.
Give us examples. So
Example
we
is,
would not be talking about.
Example is, I have a police report. I've been arrested by 11 policemen in my office one bright day, taken to Banjul station to hand over the revenue earning books of council. I said over my dead body, or a termination letter or a dismissal letter to say I am dismissed. I hand over and they take their books. But these books, according to the act, are my powers. I'm not handing over. Because it gets to a point, it gets to an end of the year, they wanted to go and do the invoicing. I said, no. I've been here 2 years, and I have said before, and I'm going to say again, the revenue is not coming. This time round, we're going according to the textbook. Do have a team. The team, you can select your team. Get a team to register all businesses in Banjul. Once we have the register intact, the trade license manager, officer, can go and invoice. Once they invoice, the collectors can go and collect our money. But once I said this, hell broke loose. And in the ensuing pull and push, I was detained at the station.
You were detained?
Yes, I was detained.
When?
I have the newspaper cutting and everything attached. I'll forward it to you.
Okay.
And again, the CEO...
Mr. Camara noted.
Yes. And then after 5 hours of deliberation...
Just note it as per instructions.
So,
yes.
After 5 hours, the station officer came back, a gentleman said, you are 6 of you versus Mr. Camara. But what Mr. Camara is saying, he's going to the act. He is showing us his powers as per the act.
Why were you detained?
I was detained because, I don't know.
No, you know.
I sat in my office. I went to work as a director of finance in my office. 11 police officers appeared. I said, what's the problem? They said, you are wanted at the station, ASAP. I said, can you people go? I'll come. They said, no.
What was the complaint about?
That I refused to hand over the revenue earning books of council.
To
Bachili.
Bachili is the chief custodian of all accounts.
The CEO.
Yes, but yes. Would that be wrong?
Yeah, it's very wrong.
Why is it wrong?
Yeah, because the act said it's a delegated responsibility. Because Bachili is not the director of finance. Bachili is also the cleaner.
What do you mean it is a delegated responsibility?
Those powers are Bachili's powers, but the custodian is the director of finance.
No. Look, you see, for everything that you can do as director of finance, Bachili can do.
Yes. Yes.
As CEO.
Yes.
That's how it is.
Yes. Yes.
So for everything that is your responsibility for the most part, Bachili has a responsibility to do.
Yeah, but again,
except for very, very key things like raising vouchers, because there should be segregation of duty. But when it comes to having custody of books of accounts, even the law also gives Bachili, as CEO, the powers to account for these books of accounts. You understand? It says the Chief Executive Officer, 202, of council shall be appointed by Local Government Service Commission as prescribed in the Local Government Act. Now, as the accounting officer of council, he or she shall be responsible for the general management and supervision of the financial and accounting operations of councils and the safeguarding of council's assets in accordance with the relevant sections. Now, he is personally responsible for the due performance of all the financial duties of council, the observance of employees of council of all financial and accounting instructions issued from time to time, the proper disbursement of such monies from the purchase of goods or acquisition of services for the day-to-day administration of the council, ensuring the adequate steps are taken for the proper control of financial transactions, the general management, supervision, and production of the accounts of council. And the list goes on.
yes.
You understand that?
Yes.
So I am not talking about your arrest, whether it is
Yes.
lawful or not. I'm
Yes.
just saying that requesting certain books from you, books of accounts from you, may not be unlawful.
Yes, but if you look at the Finance and Accounting Manual of Local Government Authorities, Section 204.
Right.
The Director of Finance.
Yes.
The Director of Finance is the head of the Finance Department
Yeah.
of the Council and shall be responsible
Yes.
for overall coordination and control of accounting functions of Council,
Yes.
supervision of accounting staff,
Yes.
production of annual financial statement, interpretation stroke analysis of the accounts.
Yes.
He
Yes.
will be specifically answerable
Yes.
to the CEO
Exactly.
for the following duties.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
So
But again,
that caveat is very important.
yeah, but again,
It's extremely
having
important.
said it, you request for me to hand over the revenue earning books of council, to hand it over to another portfolio. That was the issue.
To who?
The finance manager.
Oh, you didn't say that initially. You said it was a request to hand over to the CEO.
Yes, because
That was what you said in the beginning.
it's a developing story.
Yes,
So
it's now
again,
you're
for me,
saying to hand over to.
I don't have a problem handing over, but hand it over to a junior, because I have a system that I have proposed to you that will bring consensus.
That I agree.
Yes, thank you.
You cannot hand over to the finance manager for the duties that you are delegated to you by the act. Now, you had said in your statement with respect to the Ostend project. By the way, there was a loan that was rolled out for a certain period. You were present when the staff or the steering committee were benefiting from loan scheme?
Yes, I was.
And what brought about this loan from the B.C.C. Ostend funds?
Yeah, what happened? I think it was around Tobaski,
Yes.
and then the steering committee put the motion that we needed the project to give us something like a 1/6, a 1/6 sort of. So by looking at it, there is no 1/6. We said we qualified it as a loan. So that was the genesis of giving it. I think it was 33,000 to each steering committee member.
It was qualified as a loan.
Yes, it was qualified as a loan.
It was during Tobaski.
Yes, and deducted from source in 6 monthly installments.
It was during Tobaski.
Yes, around Tobaski. Is it Tobaski or Korite?
Yes, one of the first.
Yes.
And is it the steering committee that had a meeting and agreed to this, you said?
Yes.
And
yes.
then the CEO is aware?
He is the chairman of the steering committee.
The mayor is aware?
My reporting lines are not through the mayors. The CEO should do that. I don't know whether the mayor is. I can't.
You had kept accounts of this project. There was a €3 million.
Yes.
For the B.C.C. Ostend project, and then also a contribution from council as well.
Yes.
And so the steering committee, you had a loan. Sorry, you had an allowance for. Is it every sitting or every month?
Every month.
Every month.
Every month. Yes.
Why would the allowance not be for every sitting and not every month, as if you are being paid? You are working every day on this project.
Yeah. At the time when it was being coined as an allowance, your suggestion was not one that hit the table, and I think if at all it was a suggestion that hit the table, we could have looked at it.
My suggestion.
Yes.
As it.
That let it be persisting.
Yes.
And again, making it persisting.
Why was it not on the table? Why was it not on the table?
Because we just thought it for record keeping, and then for the frequency of raising those payments, to make it a monthly allowance will be more.
But do you want to discuss in the issue of the B.C.C. Ostend? You had your normal duties. You have your normal duties as CEO or finance director or whatever the case may be. And so how often would you be meeting as the steering committee to discuss the Ostend?
I think during the time that I was there, because I was part of the steering committee for a brief moment, the time that I was there, I think we meet weekly or sometimes bi-weekly.
Yes,
to give.
And how much was the allowance?
The allowance, I must refer to the records to.
You can't remember how much you were receiving?
No, I can't, because I've been out of the project for 2 years. So.
Do you need time to check the records?
Yes, to give you the.
Okay, we will come back to that. But then, Mr. Camara, you had this allowance every month being paid?
Yes, the Ostend project, yes, allowance, monthly, yes.
At some point, the allowance was increased?
Not during
your time?
No, I was
You
not.
think the project could have accommodated your loans, the loans that you guys contracted? You think there was sufficient funds to grant the committee $33 each for the Tobaski or the Korite period?
Yeah, this loan was deducted from source.
No, not the payment, not the deduction.
Okay.
Do you think, you are an expert in finance,
yes.
You have a project that is supposed to be managed, there's a steering committee meeting, there's an allocation funds for the project. You think that monies from that project should have been distributed among the steering committee members by way of loan because of Korite or Tobaski or even Christmas or New Year?
No, here we're talking about 330,000.
It does not matter.
Yes.
The amount, even $1,
Yes.
does not matter. I am talking about the procedure. I am talking about the legality of the process, not the amount. $300 is maybe a lot that can go towards making sure a certain project in the project document is fulfilled. Is that not the case?
Yes. At the time, the cash flows that we had could have supported it, and it supported it. That's why we gave it out.
That's of course $3 million. There $300,000 will have a space in for any form of loan that you will have and that you can recoup at the end of the day. I am saying whether it was lawful, whether it was normal for you to have a project, but then the committee members were being paid, given loan.
Yeah, it depends.
Correct.
Yeah, Council. It depends. It depends. It depends on how you say it. But at the time, we have something in the project we call the indirect cost, and then this indirect cost was a lump sum of money that will cater for emergencies, that will cater for other budget lines.
So where is the emergency in this?
That were not conceived as at the time of the drafting of the project concept note.
You think the project concept note would ever factor in festive period? You think that? Do you genuinely think any project concept note would ever factor in a festive period that the staff would be given loan?
No, here you have to look at the context and then again.
No. You and I know how this works. No, Mr. Camara.
Council. Can I come in?
Of course.
Yes. What I'm saying here, I sat here and said it was given against the background that it was either Korite or Tobaski.
That is, in fact, the fact.
Yeah.
I am saying that that is not correct. Do you think that is correct? Remember, this is not B.C.C. giving out loans that would have been proper under the circumstance. There is a full-time employment that the staff have, and there may be a budget line for this, which will factor in the staff's needs and concerns in these times. We know even government will give 1 by 6. We know, to motivate the staff so that they would not really engage in certain practices during this period. This is a project.
I agree.
This is different.
I agree.
Yes, it is a temporal financial activity where you have a project document, a project policy and everything, and you have a target to achieve within a time frame. Money allocated for that. When you were asking the donors money, you would never say that we would want you to, part of the money will be used to give the committee some monies for loans. That would not happen.
Yes.
Then they would not give you $3 million.
Yes. Yeah, I concur.
No.
I concur.
Exactly.
I concur.
So that is totally different from the aims and aspirations of everything surrounding the project.
Yeah,
so do you agree it was unlawful? It was not correct?
Yeah, it was not a good practice.
Yes.
And I think moving forward, we'll take note of that, and that's why we have internal audit, that's why we have external audit.
Let's not move forward so quickly.
Yes.
Why it was not a good practice?
Yes.
But you people did not know that now. This was known to all of you because all of you were seasoned. Most of you were seasoned, except for the likes of Makumba Sane, who was just whisked into the system because of favoritism. And that's the hard fact. That's the truth. But for someone like you, you are highly educated.
Yes.
The CEO, I don't know his educational background that much, but I assume he would be educated to a certain degree. You have a project manager. There will be qualifications for this post. So what the presumption would be, there would be a degree of academic qualification and experience as well.
Yes.
So you guys were in the position to know that practice was not correct.
Yeah.
You agree?
Yeah, wrong is wrong.
Yes, wrong
I
is wrong.
I cannot make it right.
Yes.
Yes.
Good. So we move on.
Yes.
Was that money recovered? Do you know?
Yes. Unfortunately, after 1 month, the steering committee was disbanded.
By
the mayor.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay, but then still your salaries were being paid for your permanent employment. Why did you guys not continue paying the loan?
You ask the CEO. If I were in his position,
I asked the finance director and the CEO, the two people who are in charge of the accounts of council.
yes, but again, I was not, I was dropped, or I was not part of the new setup.
But you have a loan you have contracted.
That's true.
Yes.
Yes.
So, and as a finance director, it is principle that monies be recovered, even a dollar. I mean,
That's true.
is that not the case?
Yes.
If
But
anyone owes B.C.C, it is your job to
go
make
after
sure
them.
you go after it.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. So why did you not pay your loan to start with?
Yeah, because ethically, what should happen? If you disband a steering committee,
Right.
you should have the audacity to write to every member that is not part of the new setup, and even the new members that you take.
Right.
Write to them officially today that you are no more part of this steering committee.
Right.
And again, by this letter,
Yes.
we are copying the Director of Finance to do the needful as per your liabilities.
Yes.
But who am I to deduct your salary without an official communication? When the CEO, through the mayor, disbanded the steering committee, a letter should have come, or a general notice. Moving forward, this is the new steering committee. The old steering committee is no more. Copy the Director of Finance and say, Director of Finance, please do the needful to recover all liabilities that are owed. With that document.
Look, is that supposed to be a very effective procedure? Yes.
Yes, but again,
yes, but in the absence of that, you had said there is two walls apart between the mayors and what you are used to now. Then which means you did not expect that kind of administration, because of the person that is the mayoress, as far as you're concerned, is probably not very fit.
yeah, and I followed them. For me,
Yes.
I followed them to say, write to us.
But pay. Just pay.
Pay. Yes,
Just pay.
yes, personally.
Yes.
Personally, yes.
Of course.
Yes.
You have been disbanded.
Yes, yes.
Just pay.
Yes, I concur. But again, it would have been simpler, because with loans, you don't negotiate. It's deduction from source.
Just pay. You know
Yeah.
you were supposed to pay.
That's
On
right.
your part, you're no longer in the steering committee. Just pay. As simple as that.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
So that we would not be blaming the mayors for not. That is supposed to be a good practice. But for not doing that, you guys, each of you people were in a position to know what is right and what is wrong.
That's true.
Yes, and therefore, it almost seemed that, because if you look at the B.C.C. Austin project, I call it a failure. And we will hear the evidence until this is proven otherwise. I don't see the success in that project overall. Huge sums of monies. The procurement was done outside the Procurement Act and regulation. There was the issue of favoritism, who you give contracts. We kickbacks are going to fall on whose hands, and therefore, a project of that magnitude, you achieve this.
I see your platform. I concur with you. What you say is what I say. I agree to what you are saying. But again, in the testimony, you've not looked at the first page of the Austin project. My testimony.
Yes.
The first page should have give you a background.
Let's go there.
Yes, go to the first page.
Yes. What about the first page?
Yes.
What about the first page?
Yes, I in summary there, I am telling you, I was taken out of the steering committee because I just wanted to do my job,
Yes.
and they thought I am delaying, or I am not, and should not be part of the steering committee.
Yes.
And then what ensued? That's what we are all witnessing now, including you giving that testimony that for you is a failure. Because if you have taken certain steps and guidelines, we could have mitigated a lot of problems that
The
the
first
project
page you said that before, that's the bottom, before the disbanding of the original steering committee, I refused to sign a check of 900,000 for visibility, and that could have been the only crime I committed for the total dissolution of the committee and its subsequent replacement with another one, with me, and as key as my roles and responsibilities are, as that of finance were concerned and ignored with impunity. The said payment was crafted, organized, and prepared by the CEO, the project manager, Ma'am Lai Jase, and project manager, Alfuseni Gano, respectively. The project coordinator, Ma'am Lai Jase, and project manager, Alfuseni Gano, respectively. He hell broke loose when I refused to sign the check. Yes, you spoke about a check of $900,000 that was signed.
That was supposed to be signed. I refused.
Was it not signed by the CEO?
Yes, he signed it.
Yes.
Yes.
And you were supposed to
Sign.
for the withdrawal of this amount. Why did you not agree to this?
Yes, because what happened is the magnitude of the project. And for me, I said it, I'm going to say it again, that if the project was executed properly,
Yes.
with a pass mark, another project would have replaced this one.
Yes.
And the benefits is for all Gambians, especially Banjulians.
Right.
But having taken up my responsibility as Director of Finance to vet or look at every payment that land on my desk and to do justice to it, when this check came on a Friday afternoon for me to sign, I said, I told Gano, I can understand visibility that you can request for 75,000, 100,000 and retire it. But signing a single check of 900,000 for visibility.
What is visibility?
Visibility is promotion. It is about awareness. It's about education. It's about selling out or making the project reach the doorstep of every Banjulian, by extension every Gambian, and communicate the benefits that this project will bring, to create awareness, either through radio, television, billboards, town meetings, you name it.
So they want to withdraw $900,000 in the name of advertising the project. Is that a simple way of putting it?
Yes, for me that's the way I saw it.
And so what is the procurement involved, if any, for the visibility or the advertisement of the project that would amount to $900,000? Was there any document in relation to procurement?
No.
In relation to who has to be paid, what media outlet must be paid, what amount for it to be $900,000? Do you know?
No.
So on what basis were they seeking to withdraw this amount?
Maybe they can explain better. But for me, when it came, I said, I can't sign this. And then,
who was involved in this?
I know Mam Lai Jasi, Alfuseni Gano, and Mustafa Bachili. And Bachili sat in his car and tell them to bring the check, let me sign. Then when
they came to you
on a Friday, yes,
Where
on a
were
Friday
you?
afternoon. I was in my office. I always close late.
And they drove together in one vehicle?
No, Bachili was in his car.
Okay.
Then Gano came from the project office,
yes,
with the check to say, we want your signature. I said, what's this? They said visibility. I said, I can't sign this. What I can sign is go, cancel this check, raise 75,000, 100,000. If you retire it, then we can give you more. But I cannot sign this check for 900,000. So Gano walked out, went to Bachili. Bachili was in his car. Then Bachili walked in, took the check himself, came to me to say, Gainde, don't sign. I can't sign this.
How did he call you Gainde?
Well, Gainde.
That's how you guys call each other?
Yes. He told me, Gainde, don't sign Lee. No, I can't sign this because cash flow management. Yeah, 900,000 is 1 million. Whatever is going to happen here towards Monday, 100,000 can do it. And again, I don't see any supporting documents for me to do the needful.
So what happened?
So what happened is he walked away. Then on a Monday morning, that week, the committee is disbanded.
Yeah?
Yes, and then I'm out and forgotten.
Was he out?
Who?
But Mr. Bacheli?
No, they coined they coined a new steering committee, and you can look at the portfolios, the qualification, and the person of the new steering committee. And again, having said that, the project document explicitly said the director of finance must be a member of the steering committee.
Yes.
It was not an issue of he agrees or he doesn't agree. And again, it's very healthy in a group when there are people that can always tell you, I don't agree, or can you speak again, or can we do this?
Absolutely.
Yes.
So when the project was disbanded by, you believe this was the reason it was disbanded?
Yeah, for me, yes, because they wanted me out, and then in going out, they have to also take other people out and say we are downsizing. They have to justify their actions. But I told them, whatever you do, you're breaking the law, because I have not done anything. And again, it's my job, not Camara. It's not me, but it's the position.
Was there a letter disbanding?
Exactly. That's where the problem comes. Verbally, they did it. To this day, they have not written.
How did you get the news that you were no longer a member of the steering committee?
Yeah, because they are meeting. We are not called. And it was verbal. And again, for me, I had a checkpoint that I waited for them. Once I was out, they still wanted to bring checks. I said no. Clarify my status before I sign. And I have the documents here to tender. And in those communication, I wrote to them a memo. They wrote to me a memo. They wrote to me a memo to say refusal to sign checks. That's the memo here. From the CEO on the 8th of February 2022, refusal to sign project checks. And I also responded on that same day, refusal to sign checks.
All right. This was after you were no longer invited in the steering committee meetings.
Yes. Yeah, because once they disbanded the steering committee, what they should have done administrative-wise and correctly and legally was to write to us a general memo or individual memo to say you are out, and copy the director of finance to say, moving forward, please do the needful. I would have been deducting from source paying for the loan, but it was verbal. But for me, I stood my grounds to say I'm not signing until you give me a document. So they wrote to me, refusal to sign a check, and I responded.
Yes, Honorable Chairperson, we apply to tender two letters. The first is a memo from the Chief Executive Officer addressed to the Director of Finance. There's a witness currently testifying, Mr. Momodou Camara. The date is 8th of February 2022, with the subject refusal to sign checks. The second is the memo from the Director of Finance and Chairman, Finance and Procurement Committee, to the Project Manager via Project Coordinator via CEO and Steering Committee Chairman. The date is 8th of February 2022, with the topic refusal to sign checks, to be admitted into evidence and marked as exhibits.